Sound check. Hey Greg, welcome. First person. Alright. This damn bench is curved still. It's a real pain in the butt. Alrighty. No time to be nice and sweet, so I've got to get straight into this. This is the A1932 that we did the other night that we thought was going to be dead. And amazingly it wasn't quite dead. It's come out of the ultrasonic, and there's a few areas that still need improvement. And I just realised we've got to put those caps back as well. And people are messaging me. What the heck? I haven't even shipped the thing. It's not even shipped. Gross. I'm assuming this is... don't mind me, I'm just raging here because someone's expecting something and I haven't even said I've sent it yet. Yep, that's that one. Fun and games. Yeah. This is a problem that comes up quite a bit, and I know it's from the pressure of customers and stuff, but yeah, customers just push a little too hard sometimes. I know they want their stuff back, but there are limits on how fast you can get some of this stuff done. Especially when you got to wait for the outcomes. Like, okay, so down here, this is after it's been in the ultrasonic, and it reveals that there's a great deal of... let's see. Hey Dan, the plumber, it's been a while since I've seen you. Welcome back. Unos dos, tres tres. Yeah. See that's a goner, that one, and that's a goner, that one. There's also a bit of a goner. And that. So there's quite a bit of... oh, look at that one there. There's quite a bit of damage that still needs to be fixed up, and you can't tell until you get it out of the ultrasonic. And I mean, it's sure it works. Sure, I can ship it back, but guaranteed it's going to be dead in a couple of weeks. And they're not looking good either. Now, unfortunately, there are certain assumptions that every now and then get made, and then people get a little upset when things don't turn up, and yeah, so it's difficult all around, and then you get the pressure on your back, and that's usually when mistakes happen. Now, this is actually going to be quite tricky to fix these up. So I know how it happens, it's just gets a little bit difficult at times. And then I don't always work every day of the week. I don't always work on Sundays. Sometimes I do actually have to have a break. Like I had a couple of people turn up this morning. The machines were dropped off on Friday. Like Friday afternoon, and they messaged me this morning expecting to be done. I'm like, oh, well, I didn't even have a weekend, so how about that's a big fat no. Where am I going to put this part so I don't lose it? Yeah, let's just put it over there, and We'll never lose that. So I try to do the best by everybody, but sometimes it's just I can't make it that far. And I do know though, as of late, I have been a little bit lacking in getting jobs out the door. It's unfortunately there are certain other in life. Sometimes you get other priorities kicking in. But again, a lot of the problem comes down to is the customer gets unrealistic expectations to and a lot of these problems can take quite a while to sort out. Or if you've got to wait for parts. Yeah, just things like that. I guess the way to solve that is to actively tell people that it's really, really not going to be available for a while, rather than saying I'll call you when it's ready and just leaving it open like that. I think I may have to start saying expect quite a while. Oh, come on. What is wrong with you, resistor? Yeah, that resistor's jacked up. It's not wanting to... I'm gonna have to find out what that is and replace it. That's a pain. Hey, Danny Croesus. Hey, Teresa. Yeah, let's find that part. Because I don't see that as working out. It's just not attaching on that pad. Okie doke. Shift the screen across. Actually, I don't even know why I've got it this way. Time to shift everything around again. You go there. You go there. You go over there. Okay, list the schematics in the right place. Alright, this is going to be wrong for a few moments. Okay, that's better. Alright, so let's see, we've got this part up here. Which one was it? So in between the great big chip, I'd say it's U 3451. You're a 10K 201. Alrighty. Well, at least that's a pretty standard value, so we're going to rip that little one out and put in one that has an actual end cap. But it's pretty normal behavior. We all do it. We all want things as quick as we can, and then we also don't want the pressure of customers on our backs, so we try to shift that pressure upwards. And like I said, we all do it. I know I do. These frickin' hopeless, goddamn useless, good for nothing crap strips. I've maybe used 5 of these 10k resistors on this strip, and there is about 10 left in that strip because the rest have just flown off because the strip simply doesn't have any glue in it. I mean, how cheap and nasty can you get? Need to add a little bit more solder onto that. Hey, TCRS. Good to see you here. Thought you'd actually be sleeping trying to get some catch up, given that you got a massive workload as well. Ah, for the love of God, come on. Yeah, so that one actually stuck. Alright, one down, probably 5 or 6 to go. Yes, Ben, you jerk. This is the one that we fixed up, but we've still got plenty of stuff to fix. God damn, where does that veer go? Now these are all of these that have burnt out like that, they're all PP Bus G3 hot. Hey Travis. Yeah, Greg, it's not the SMC transplant, it's a different one. Well, the little blob of solder wasn't doing the trick, so I put a massive one on. Hey Baron Black. Hey Rod K. How's things down in Brizzy? Brilliant. Just frickin' brilliant. My LED light hood plastic thingy just dropped off. We'll add that to the list of things that Paul needs to fix in his life. What I was trying to say is, as you can probably see from the tweezers, I'm having a bit of a shaker day. Oh, this is just bollocks. That's not wanting to go on either. Let's see. 3461. You're also 10k. 3451. Interesting, they're both the same style circuit. Alright. Well, I guess we'll take that off too. I did another dodgy repair. You know, Ben, I'm gonna have to ban you soon. Dodgy repair. tell you what's dodgy is the ones I get in. Dodgy, smodgy. Okay, now I know a resistor dropped in here somewhere. Come on. I'm almost certain I saw it drop. Oh no, it's still stuck in there. Wow, that was pretty cool. The electrostatic just pulled that right back up into the strip. And of course, being Monday, I'm a little grumpier than usual. I think I've already... Crikey, I think I've already had 2 coffees. I'm still grumpy. And I can't solder today. Since I can't solder today, I must be soldering instead. I think that's a problem. I've started soldering. Yes, I have been coding. I've been coding all weekend and fixing tremendously broken data, as well as trying to work out how to decode such tremendously broken data. Yeah, Lewis does have shakier hands, I will agree. I mean, he's got my full sympathies for that. Yeah, there's obviously more that I need to fix here. Oh look, there's that one that I thought disappeared. This is what I'm talking about. This is where all my 10k resistors go. Now I'm just going to gently put that down on my bench, where it will be forever lost and forgotten. Only to be seen again when I think it's a piece of dust. Oh, that's right. This red one here in the middle was the next one. Teresa, I do drink decaf late at night. Like if it's after about 9 o'clock at night, I'll drink decaf. Unfortunately, it's not really the caffeine that's gives me the shakes. Tim knows all about this. Okay, what is this? What's the bet? That's probably another 10k. I don't know. Let's see, R3441. Oh, well, shock frickin' horror. Another 10k. And I actually can still see the little original 10k that... Fancy that, eh? It knew it was needed, so it actually stuck around. That's a bit of a laugh. Oh no, that one's gone stumpy down to the veer. Come on, flood it and catch on. I'm trying to get the little veer stump to catch. Because believe me, I don't want to be having to run wires for 3V42 all over the place. Ah, Travis, yes, hit the board with a hammer. That will work very well. Yes, the resistor wanted to be useful, and it does get to be useful just as soon as I can rejuvenate the pad that it needs to sit on. That's good enough, and there's enough flux there. Now I have to find that resistor. Where did I put that resistor? It wanted to be useful, but now it's gone away. Oh man. Seriously, where did it go? It's probably on the tip of my Yep, there it is. Hey Mansoor. Yeah, it took a ride out of town, hiding on the flux tip. Good God, man, come on. You call yourself a technician? Ah, jeez. God, this is so bad, I must be Apple certified. Hey, Tickerman Mick. Repairing a MacBook charger cord. Tinkerman, that's probably because it won't be putting anything out, because it's not communicating with the MacBook probably. Although they should put out something, like a couple of little volts. I'm not really sure. I can hear the cries of more flux is required, but I wanted to clean up the excess. What happened there was that there was excess solder around the cap of that resistor, and then when the reflow occurred, it pulled in towards the capacitor. The capacitor? What the heck? I mean the chip. Hey Sonia, good to see you. Oh, Mr. Scott, thank you. I know you're out there. Yeah, that one's got to be done too. Seems like every time you fix up one, you find another couple. So yeah, that just came straight off the R34, 31, another 10k. The whole section here is, I'll show you what it is. This is the whole section, so it's all these PP just. Maybe I should just go to sleep now. like that, 3431, 3451, 3441, 3461. They're all the ones I'm replacing. Hey, Jenna M. Ah, and Christian Iverson here. Welcome. We got a net. Right, so we've got to clean up that pad too. So yeah, when you get your fan spin, it's not always the end of the story. Certainly not if reliability matters. I'm trying to be real careful with these pads. But I'm pretty damn sure that that's just going to come flying right off. And it's just another 10k in the wall. Not sure what that blob of solder is doing here by the diode. Just another random free blob, and we've got to get another 10k resistor. So I basically need to make an order and get myself some more 10k resistors of this size. I'll probably, for this sort of thing, I'd probably just order a strip of 1000 and never have to deal with them again. Of course, I'll probably lose that initial strip. Ah, geez. How many did I get that time? Only one. If you're wondering why I don't use a donor at this point, it's because I do not have a donor for this particular board. A lot of these boards are quite difficult to get a hold of. I've tried ordering a couple of them, and for some reason the supplier cancels my order. Blimey heck, can't I get more solder balls on there? It's like I put it through the... Yeah, that's better. They'll send me the other boards I've ordered in the shopping cart, but things like this, they seem to just take it away, even though they're the ones advertising it's for sale. But probably the biggest shock I had recently with donor boards was I ordered some 820-00164s, which are the 11-inch 11-inch equivalent of the 165, and they turned up chopped in half. Like I did a complete portion of them missing. I was like, I can't believe that, because I didn't think there was anything special about those boards, but there must be a chip on there that they're wanting for something else, the high value chip. Let's see if I can find one. Ah, yeah, here we go. So yeah, this is the 11-inch, and wham! Yeah, 164, 820-00164, and for whatever reason, yeah, cut it clean in half. Well, not half, but... So I don't know what is on this portion that they're wanting. It's got to be some chip on there that they are separately harvesting. Although I still don't get it. I mean, why would you do that when you could just remove the chip? The mind boggles. I can't imagine they'd deliberately chop it up like that for no other reason. I think we've got the worst of it done now, so it actually might be a little more reliable. And we've got to put our caps back on here. This is where the shorts were. AQs. This board is the what is it? 820-01521. It's for the A1932. Yeah, we've got a little bit melty there, so I'm very sorry about that. But I mean, come on, it's not exactly a lot of room there to work with. So I have to find out what those caps were. I don't think they were anything important. 6405, 6416. Break them in pieces, smuggle out of the factory. Yeah, but these, those are years old now. So I don't know. I mean, unless you mean they're smuggling them out of the place that gets them legally, so to speak, from Apple for the purpose of, you know, being donor boards after they got the drill hole through them. Either way. Anyway, so this is 6405 and we've got 6416. So we've got a pair of 10 microfarad, 25 volters. Alright. Those are dime a dozen, thankfully. Oops, wrong one. Hey Trey. Hey Rodrigo. Oh, that's right, you're the one that mentioned the... and Donald Elliott. So we'll clean this up and put down our 10 microfarad 603s. They're another one I really need to just buy a spool of 1,000 or something. This is a little tricky here because I don't want to use hot air, but these ground pads, they're going to require a lot of heat, so usually I want assistive hot air there, but I can't have assistive hot air. Well, maybe I can, but just very light. Wrong. Just trying to find a 3437 or something. Why can I not find the caps I want? You're a 3437, you should have them. Oh, that's because someone took them. Some jerk. Do not tell me I picked up the same... Aha. I thought I picked up the same board again, but fortunately not. Scratch the nose. Hey, lethal one. Alright, so we'll get these two off. These are 10 microfarad, 603, 25 volt units. Nice thing is, boards like the 3437 and the 165, they have about at least 10 of them in this sort of setup. So they're easy to spot, easy to grab. Hey, Yuhan Ryu. Alright, as I said, the trick here is the fact that the board's going to want to take a lot of heat before it will let me just move over there. Get off my soldering iron tip. That's when you go into panic mode. Probably should have done the other way around. Use the other pad first. Mongrel. No, frickin' useless. Alright, I'm gonna have to shield these up and then hot air assist. I don't wanna. Cues, yeah, this is the 1932 from the other day. That was all liquid damaged and looking like it wouldn't even make it through the day. We recovered it, but after it came out of the ultrasonic, it was obvious that there was substantially more damage at hand. And while it was holding itself together, I wasn't willing to send it back in that state. Now, Captain Tape doesn't do a huge amount, but sometimes it does just enough. I mean, yeah, if you're a human and you stick your finger on, yeah, someone hot airs your finger even with Captain Tape, you're going to feel that sucker. But in these scenarios, it's not always, you know, you're sensitive to anything above 50 degrees, basically. Once your body feels anything above about 52 degrees centigrade, it will declare it as being undesirably hot. Oh, you mongrel. I'm gonna be in big trouble if that's melted the connector. Yeah, only slightly. That's all good. We'll live. Ben will live. Hey, Catherine. Sticky aluminium tape, that's a good idea. It's certainly more pliable and it won't bounce like the shields and the tape does. I guess I'd be worried about how the adhesive goes. Alright, that's acceptable. Francesca, it's the middle of the day. It's 2 p.m. in the afternoon here in Australia. I'm not in the United States. That's the other thing. I am not Paul S. from Rossmann Group. You got a lot of people thinking I'm Paul S. It's very easy to determine the difference between us. I've got hair. Paul S. doesn't. Just going over things again. There's plenty of corroded end caps, but I'm looking for the ones where the corrosion has actually undercut the pad, like in those 10k resistors we replaced. Whoa, where did you come from? These balls look so good that I swear they must be spillover from something. Alright. Yeah, that's the other thing. Paul's actually a man. He's a hard working, hard fighting man. Scrub this down with the isopropylene. Unfortunately, I really don't want to put this through the ultrasonic again, so hopefully I can clean it up enough with the isopropylene. Hey, Kopaz. This is the one Kopaz from the other night that we weren't sure if it was going to live to see the day or not. I had to do some after ultrasonic cleanups. Oh, the lethal one. Shots fired. Shots fired. Kevin, I haven't got that many projects done lately. I've been a little bit too invested in the coding at the moment and the data fixing and things like that. I really want to get the next release of Flexboard View out, and from there I can probably relax a bit more. Normally I schedule these things so I spend about 3 months a year constantly on a project, but there's just been so much upheaval. I haven't had the how could you say, I haven't had the privilege of being able to make that choice consciously. Instead it's sort of just things have happened and I've got to go with it. Alright, time to verify that this actually does still in fact boot, or at least partially boot. Check out 19 volts, 20 volts, whatever. I did actually leave the connector in here. Crap. It's not good. Yep, that's rebooting on me. That's bad news. And that is why ultrasonic can suck. Because it means something in here has disconnected, misbehaving, or whatever. Hey Ed. Yeah, this is why I'm not a big fan of ultrasonic sometimes, because basically we now have a fault somewhere in here and we haven't got the damn's clue as to where. Crud. That sucks. And remember, there was a lot of corrosion down here, so for all we know it could be something under there. Well, Steady on microscope. And this is why I told the person that I am not giving it clearance to go until it passes the ultrasonic and boots again, in which case it has not. Now I guess what I should have really done maybe is sort out a backup before I even went much further. That was a slight omission on my side. What do you... oh, you're good. Something else I've missed? The other thing yeah, people complain about the T2 chip on this particular model. Terrifying little T2 chip. But what I actually hate about this model is the damned heatsink paste you use. I'll show you. See this stuff? It's not like normal transfer paste. It's needs to be thicker. I don't think you could probably use normal paste. I feel like it would not have the right transfer properties. It just doesn't seem the same, not even close. Why do you not make a photo of the board before you ultrasonic? Well, I've got all the videos and all that, and the photo, you can't really get the resolution that you want anyway. What you really need to do is scan it into a flatbed scanner or something. And see how it just, and it definitely has a thickness about it. So I would say that's probably around about 0.2 to 0.5 mil thick. It is not a direct CPU to metal contact. I'll try another port just in case. No, reboot. No, reboot. God damn. I've got a spare one of these around here somewhere. Jan, well, I think the thing is, when it comes to subscribers and things like that, most people aren't really interested in going to other channels off their off the main one that they're watching. It's like, I know myself, if I'm watching, say, Alex Steele or Cody's Lab or something like that, when they get guest appearances and all that, I really don't have an interest in going to see what the guest appearance is up to. Yeah, this sucker's rebooting. Yep. Yep. So it's not the connector. Oh. Which one?
She said she needs to talk to you.
Okay.
I said, are you dropping off or picking up? She said, I need to talk to him.
Is it the laptop person?
She's got a laptop.
Ah, jeez. Really? This is just Monday. Oh, come on. Alright, don't know what to do about this one at this point. There must be something in there that's not connected right. Recommend, and this bench top is really starting to get to me. The way that it just drifts off because of the curvature of the earth. Something down here that's not happy. Something got eaten away by the ultrasonic. And I haven't seen it. It could have been a ball under one of the CDs, the CD 3212, 3215s. Damn. Alright, well we know the G3 hot, the PP bus G3 hot chewed away those resistor pads. Oh gee. Hey Commutix. Okay, so what I was going to do is have a look and see where the other 3V, the other lines are. PP bus G3 high. I don't know why I'm saying 3V42. KAN fix. Hello. All right, so we replaced these resistors and those resistors because they were chewed out. I suppose what I should be doing is making sure that I actually am seeing the voltage on those resistors, just in case the VIA didn't take. Like when I replace the resistors, if the pads are just floating on thin air, then that would pretty much do it. Okay, so we've got volts. Let's bring up our multimeter. And we are alive. Hey, DEFPOM. Oh, for goodness sake. So this thing keeps falling off. Ah, you can't see it. Yeah. This plastic shield for the LEDs just keeps coming off. Just needs to be glued back or something like that. Alright, so we're looking for 3V42 on... Oh, what am I talking about? Change that. Shift that. So we should have it down here. 12.3. Okay, I'm not sure if actually that's good or not. 12.3. Stop moving it, Paul. .3. 12.3. We've got 12.3 on all of them, so that's disappointing. Very disappointing. DEFPOM, last couple of comments. Cap and chip to the right of the CD3215. Well, now you see that's no fun because right of what? You talking about these two? Or that right? Or yeah. Or are you talking about that little glass chip? Or that one? Unfortunately, because the board can be spun around all over the place, there's no real way of determining. Anyway, I think they're inductors, those ones. I haven't looked. These two look slightly suspect. But again, I'm looking for something that's physically probably broken. That little cap in there actually looks... There's my surgical knife. Yeah, top edge to the right. The cap on the edge of the... Yeah, it's references. There's no references here. It's all... I'm going to need part numbers. That's moving. That's floating there. You can just see it. See how it just... As soon as I put any pressure on it, it moves. So that's got to come up. Yeah, resistors can look like they're fried, but often they're not. They're just really dirty. I'm not saying that it's not that, but I'm just saying that, you know, seeing fried resistor ends is not really a guarantee. I've been fooled more than enough times. I'm not saying I won't go back to them, but my finger is on this one right now. And that is... Let's see, that's C3022. Yeah, it's not something I would have... It's just a decoupling cap though. Based on screen view, yeah. Yeah, like I said, that's just a decoupling cap. So I'm not suspecting it, but that is again, that's 3v3 G3 hot. Christian, that you're talking about, where are you? You're talking about this here, that blob. They are connected anyway, so it doesn't matter. The only way this might be a problem, no, that still wouldn't make sense. U3000, and it's a decoupling cap with this thing here. Go right and up. So I mean, you got that, which looks pretty gnarly, but yeah, they're big resistors. Thermistors. Interesting. Interesting that they use those. What concerns me is that it's affecting them all, no matter which orientation I use. Yeah, that's right, that is left. Yeah, but you forget, I'm in Australia, mate, so it, that is your right. So I mean, there's this cap here, that just looks gnarly, but it's not actually damaged. And you got these ones up here, again, just... So I'm looking for undercutting of the solder, like there. So what is that one? Again, it should only be affecting that one. Like I said, the resistors look like crap, but they're actually, they should be okay. I said, it's the undercutting I'm looking for. I'm sorry, I know it's frustrating trying to convey. This is going to be tricky to get out, but I do need to get it out. And I might just try and place that again. What's the blue thing? No, the blue thing was a chip. Yeah, you can see the trace that just goes straight into where it was attached anyway. It's like blimmin' getting iPhone crap out. Okay, now we've got 2 bits touching. Could be a current sense issue, yes. Like I said, it was working before. We'd put it through the ultrasonic, which is, like I said, why I'm thinking that the ultrasonic has basically undercut something. Okay, what are you? 3022 is a jelly bean, 100 microfarad, 100 nanofarad. 0.1201, 10 volts. Where are you, my little caps? I'm just going through my cap collection right now, trying to find a replacement for this 0.1201. No, 100 nanofarad. 402. 0.01. You never have what you need. 402, 100 nanofarad. 1 microfarad. 10 nanofarad, naturally. Oh, okay. Looks like I got proven wrong this time. Seems I got lucky. Yuhan, that probably doesn't really. That's a little too generic, unfortunately. Oscilloscopes are very useful tools, but in this case, it would probably mislead me more than anything else. I think this is very much a visual inspection type job. Worst case scenario, it might need me to reball these CD 3215s, which I'm genuinely not wanting to do. Okay. Now, hopefully, a surface tension grab on the solder should pull that cap down like that. There we go. Nice. So I mean, these two parts look absolutely crap, I do agree. One way you can test your luck with some of these parts is just solder the end caps or reflow, try and redo the end caps and see what happens. And if you have success with the end caps and it doesn't lift off, then it's probably okay. This is a frustrating repair for us all. The audience, because they can't convey what they're looking at, because of just the inherent limitations of our communication medium, and for me, because if I don't get this fixed, I don't get my money. And for me, money matters. And then of course the person who has a customer waiting on this, they're not going to be happy because they'll be like, they're also going to have to refund money. Yeah, I know, I bridged it, I know. Don't need to tell me what I can see. Sometimes you bridge these things deliberately to just flood everything, and that cap lift off just then? Yeah, but just from heat. We'll just bring those back down. Try and get that extra solder off. Everything's still quite hot there. Hey, James Dugan. Surely I don't have anything dumb like a short there or anything. No. I don't believe there were parts there. Not that it should matter, that's just speaker. Right, try luck again. Hey Kristen, alright, thanks for dropping in. Whoa, get that piece of solder out of there. Crikey. Actually, one area I haven't checked is the actual connector bits and pieces. There's quite a few corroded bits and pieces there. Sits at 300 and then drops off. Oh, I misread what you were saying there, Christensen. Yeah, there's not a lot of activity at this time of night for a lot of the world. You know, Australia pretty much goes about its business fairly much alone in the world. Oh, we have an anti-Apple person here. Yeah, quite frankly, having worked on PCs for a great deal of time prior to even touching MacBooks, I gotta say, PCs are pretty much crap as well. They're all crap. That's the beautiful thing. They're all crap. Yeah. I gotta be careful I don't get too much solder on those. Mind you, I've had some really, really dodgy PC stuff at times. I mean, my god. ASUS with their jigsaw frickin' designs for laptops. Oh, you wanna disassemble this laptop? Good luck, buddy. You wanna get down to that fan? Good luck, buddy. PC laptop fans, my goodness, what were they? It's just like, oh, you wanna clean out the laptop fan? That's nice. There you go, here's an hour. You'll need about that much time. Whereas the MacBook, you pop open the lid, pull out the fan, clean it, it's done. There's certainly flaws with a lot of the designs Apple's got, but it's not going to stop me from acknowledging the fact that they actually do some things quite nicely. And I frequently acknowledge nice jobs done on PC laptops too. Funnily enough, a lot of the time it's when they've done something a bit like a Mac in terms of the case designs. Ah man, I'm a PC person predominantly, but I have my fair share of Macs and iPhones. I'm not really prejudiced against a brand. I'll be prejudiced against a model, but certainly not a brand. Yeah, Def Pump, exactly. Yeah, it's the old designs, the 12 to 15 era was definitely well and truly a good option. I won't be letting go of my 1502, 1398, 1466s for quite a while. I'll be holding on to them as long as I can. I did just do work on a Lenovo business class all-in-one machine. Now that was actually a pleasure because it was just you lay it face down. There's two clips at the back. You just slide them across. They're not like plastic brake clips or anything like that. They're actual proper thumb slides. Pull them open, lift the lid. I mean, why can't they just make them all like that? That's the thing that irritates me more than anything else. And that's the thing that really, gets my goat. There's no profoundly compelling reason to not do that on all machines. Ease of accessibility. I mean, people, yeah, sure, there are some people who shouldn't be looking around and that stuff who are going to open it up. But that's the case with anything. Oh yeah. Got a 15-inch 2012 Retina I've been trying to fix. Liquid damage in MOSFETs. Went beeping 3 times. Played the RAM, didn't fix it. Found liquid damage. Pulled some back caps off. Now it's dead. Yeah, not good. Well, I know these were working, that's the thing. They definitely were working, so I'm hoping just the reflow will kind of maybe reconnect something that broke before. I guess I should probably do this one too. Yeah, once you get those corroded vias, it's no fun. Vias and test pads have been driving me insane in my software at the moment. I just saw that diode jump then. I don't know if anyone else did. Everything else except the CD3215 is jumping. There we go. Yeah, this diode was jumping around, that was jumping around. It was like a bad 90s rap song. Yeah, Doug, with the so like the iMacs, they just drive me insane too with the fact that you've got to cut through the adhesive foam to get into them to do anything. Yeah, stuff like that just ticks me right off. They could easily have done it a different way. But then I suppose they're thinking, why bother? We're Apple. That is the downside when a company becomes so dominant in that respect. I'm just looking to see if there's something else I've missed. But it certainly feels more like it is up in the USB-C input stage. I might have to put this down for a little while and come back to it because I'm already now burning up too much time on it. And I do have to get back to my coding as much as possible too, because I need to get that new Flexboard View version out so that it can handle the new stuff that's going to come out. At least the commercial grade HP, Lenovo, Dell type machines for desktops, at least they are generally toolless, which is nice. But then desktop machines have never really been a problem anyway. It's always the laptops, the all-in-ones, stuff like that. Yeah, SK, I don't know how to answer that. I can't even fix my own board here, so I don't know. God damn, still rebooting. Honestly, this is like a really happy party night, and you meet the girl of your dreams, or what you think is the girl of your dreams, and you hit it off and things are going really well, and then the next day you go back around, you go visit to say hello, yeah, and try and, yeah, you're all happy. And then you get there and you find out that it was all a lie. It was like, oh, it was just the party. I was having a good time, and you know, I really actually don't want to be with you or anything like that. And you're like, no. Yep. And that's kind of like how this feels right now. I have just been tricked into thinking that things were good. I need to come back the next day and have my heart broken. You've broken my heart, Lord Board. You told me you were with me, and you told me that you were going to work. I should have known better. No. Well, I have to find myself some CD3215Cs, ball them up, and give it a shot. But yeah, I'm gonna have to kick back that. Is that 0 ohm resistor chinked out? It's got a little corner cut in it. Good sense of humour about it, and yeah. Okay, that's all good. If I had to guess, I would say it's this one, but it just frustrates me that I don't know why it's done it. I suppose I should just take it off and have a look. Take it off, have a look, and then put it aside until I can find some replacements. Do the Lewis thing and follow the power rails. Yeah. I mean, you're right. I guess the reason why I'm not doing that is because, like I said, we know it was working. And we know we put it through the ultrasonic. And therefore, having come out of the ultrasonic and now not working means that the ultrasonic broke it somehow, which means that there's probably a pad somewhere that's just eaten its way through too far. I hate how long these things take to come off. Nearly knocked a lot of stuff off there. It looks pretty okay, to be honest. Yeah, SK, I don't think anyone's going to be able to answer that because no one's really here for that sort of thing. You really want to go to the forums. Yeah, I can't see anything compellingly wrong there. I pretty much should be able to just put this straight back down. Except that little blob there bothers me. So what we'll do is we'll just reflow it so it comes back to being a normal ball. Crikey, it takes a while to get this solder to... Yeah. You're actually an oversized ball, so I'm going to guess that you sucked solder from the other side. Ah! And I just burnt my hand. Okay, this cap looks a little wonked off. Yeah, you're okay. So it looks like I'm going to have to redo them anyway. Okay, Paz, is that for your model radio control car? It's a little trickier these days with the 3-phase brushless, sensorless ones. Yeah, this again will have to be cleaned up. All because that one ball decided to get sucked up. Ow. Yes, Mondays. That's pretty much all. I should have just left that as the title of the stream, Monday. And it pretty much would have covered everything. Anyway, customer's going to be cantankerous now. But, like I said to him, there's no guarantee until it's through the ultrasonic and working. Hey, I'm being an idiot here. You're talking about the multimeter software, in which case the answer is no. It's not a generic multimeter software. It is specifically for only a couple of types of multimeters that I have had access to. because every blimmin' multimeter in existence seems to decide that they have a different protocol from everyone else. Okay, that's not true, because it really comes down to what chipset is used in the multimeter. Come on. Okay. No microcontroller on this thing. What? How does it even work? Is it just a on-off switch? What is it, a little DC motor, is it? Pretty unheard of these days. Would have thought even cheap things now would have brushless motors. It's become cheaper to use brushless motors and controllers than it is to use brushed ones. Pretty sure I don't have a 3215C, but I'll check. Maybe Lewis sent me one. At one point, Lewis was actually being nice to me, and he sent me things. Useful things. And one of those might have been a CD3215C. It was a long time ago now. Back in the early days. Before he went to the dark side and descended into the realm of trolling. Plug in the TX pin of the RC to the RX of the car. Wow. Oh, right, you got a 2.4 gigahertz setup where they can have the direct link so you can control it without actually transmitting. And Lewis sent me a CD3215A. And A is no good for me because I need C. So once again, a failure on his behalf. He probably sent it to me because he knew it would be the wrong one. I fully expect that sort of behaviour from him. He's very childish. Alright. Now to see if there's any prospect whatsoever of... Oh, flip me! Well, I go to grab the board that I fairly sure would have had a CD3215 in it, and what do you know? They're gone. And that's not by me, that's by someone else. I do not believe I have any other boards with that chip. My collection of boards is a little bit too primitive overall. God damn. Oh, John, no, Lewis never speaks highly of me. He takes every opportunity possible to diss the living daylights out of my work and software. If I ever met him, I would immediately empty a can of free spray into his face. Right, well, I guess we can just try to reball the old one. I doubt it's going to do anything, but we can try to reball it. It's going to be tricky because I don't have a jig for this one. Actually, I think the last time Lewis spoke highly of me is when he thought I was someone else. You have to also realise that I troll the hell out of him and he trolls the hell out of me. Any opportunity we get to dig at each other, we seem to now have done that. It's just the thing we do. Hey, I should do what other places do and just leave it like this and solder it back down on the board like that with no balls. It seems to be a favourite thing to do with some places. Oh, I didn't tell him to upgrade his software. That wasn't me. That was Paul and his crew around him. When he destroyed his machine, something with the solid state drive, I think it failed. Then he was in a situation where he had to upgrade. And I got a sneeze. Ah, crikey. So yeah, that one's not on me. I'm no fool. House of Moth, hello. Goddamn. How do I normally redo this one? There is a stencil that works very well for this chip, and I'm just trying to remember what the heck it is. Was it the SMC stencil? I think it might be the SMC stencil. Either that or it's the 5S or iPhone 5 or something like that. But I seem to recall the iPhone 5 one, it still was missing a row, so it was more of an inconvenience than anything else. I'm just looking for, there we go, spare stencil. It's the one you love that gets the worst of it out. There's actually a substantial amount of truth in that. No, it's most definitely not the SMC stencil. Alright. I will find the stencil. I know I even messaged them to say, use this stencil if you want to reball a CD3215. And I now have forgotten what that was. And I'm looking around my workshop. Ah, that's what I'm looking for. What have we got here? I think it might be the baseband CPU. No, don't think it's that. Let's have a look. No, definitely not baseband CPU. What about U900? Maybe if you're dried off. Can't you just soak it in flux and drag solder a ball across? Yeah, no. The consistency of the balls would become a major problem there. Yeah, there we go. U900. That's the one. The only trouble is it doesn't sit perfectly when I do it. Which is going to be a major pain. I think the problem here is that the chip corners, they run up against this edge a little bit too much. So maybe I can just invert it and use it that way. Come here. What is... Sorry, I'm having a bit of a... Sorry, I'm having a Monday. There we go. Wonder if I can put maybe Maybe I can put down 0.2 mil balls or something. Yeah, Def Palm, I've got those as well. I've got a big bag of them, but not the greatest fan of them. They do tend to love to spring up and everything like that. Let's see, 0.3. 0.3 is definitely going to be a bit too big, I think. Try 0.25, quarter mil balls. These little bastards are going to run everywhere. Like that. No, they're even too big. No. Okay, this is more of a paste job then. Actually, I want a 0.2 maybe. Do I have 0.2? 0.35, 0.25, 0.4, 0.3. Nope, no 0.2s here, so definitely a paste job. I'll just dispose of these safely. I still swear there was a better option that I had than this. Because I seem to recall when I try to do it this way, because of the sliding around of the edges, it causes the ball sizes to be different, which ruins everything. So let me just try again with something else. Oh, maybe it was the black one. I think it was the black one. That's right. Union Repair has these black stencils. They're not 3D, but they are square hold, and they do a better job. Yeah, there we go. Fine if Paul could just stop. Oh my goodness, I am really a mess today. Okay. Except I can't find my paste. Oh yeah, I've got my paste. I don't even know why I'm doing this, because honestly it's gonna fail anyway. Accused, this is a 820-0-1521. My paste is all crusty. It's not good. This is what I get for not putting my paste in the fridge. Ah, got some. Good. It's a bit ridiculous to have a whole fridge dedicated for one little tube of paste. No, I don't need to Captain tape. Not for this. I should do it like they do in the... You see in the overseas videos where they just do it all freehand, no microscope, nothing. No idea how they manage that. And... Come on, microscope. Seriously? How sad is it? I've actually got to lock my microscope. Hey Gustavo. Yeah, small bar fridge, dual purpose. Crud. Okay, we're gonna go 420 and 25. That should about do the trick. It looks pretty good. It's not perfect. Just get those squash solder dags out of there. They wouldn't really cause a lot of problems if they reflow back into little balls. The amount of solder in them is so tiny that, yeah, they'll be nothing more than just little tiny balls. You get to keep it in the fridge. That's pretty amazing. I knew it was one of those iPhone stencils. I just couldn't remember why or how. Now, looking back, yeah, it's as long as you use the flat one, it works out well. Well, I think we can pretty much just drop that one back on. Minus all the damn hairs and stuff. But I don't have the greatest of hopes for this. Okay, so that is in the right orientation. We just got to put some flux down. Hello, Mahendra Sharma. Yeah, I know 420 can seem high, but then I've got a really big nozzle, and yeah, when the nozzle's really big, the intensity is a lot less. Yeah, that's pretty close to where I want it. And I'm going to have to go back up to MacBook speed and air. Damn it, I shouldn't have moved it. I was being a nervous Nelly and I moved it. Oh, these balls are certainly smaller than the originals. Can't get any more height on that. Right, from Susan. Alright, so here we go. Like I said, don't really have any hopes for success on that, but we'll give it a whirl. If I don't have any success on this, then I'm just going to have to order, replacement set. So here we go. No, reboot. Maybe the damage is under the other one. No, reboot. Alright, let's have a look under the other one. Even though I said I'd give up. I guess if nothing else, it's practice for doing them. I mean, there was more corrosion under that one than there was under this one, but this one did have a fair bit of... there's damage all around. And gingerly lift it. That was from ultrasonic. Quitting is for quitters. I don't mind being a quitter. I'm really not a person that is afflicted by the whole yellow belly quitter, loser type taunting. Chicken, whatever you want to say. Never been a problem on my side. You're just going to be something dumb like one of these chips. I mean, don't get me wrong, words can certainly still hurt, but most of the time those sort of taunts are a little more than just got a cough. Little more than just pointless cheap shots. I'm not talking about on the channel here or anything. I'm talking about in real life. Is that resistor undercut? This one here. Kind of looks like that pad under there looks a little undercut to me. Oh my goodness, sorry folks. It's certainly not ASMR. No. Looked worse than what it really was. I could have sworn it. You can see it has undercut slightly. This board loves to have veers coming up into pads. It's not really a design philosophy I like, but I understand why it has to be done sometimes. Sometimes there just simply is not, there is no room to do anything else. Though in this case, I'd say there was room. Yes, feeble attempts of manipulation, pretty much just sort of like too lazy to do a good job of it. Hoping that they can hit some low-hanging fruit, I guess. Maybe they should just go for a nut punch, that would be low-hanging fruit. Ah! Yeah, on the other hand, if you said that was a shitty job of... Yep, that's really a shitty job. Oops, gonna get demonetized, I swore. Wasim, maybe, I don't know. There's a few polls that Ruiz talks about. I could be one of them. Wasim, from... Just need to pick that damn thing up, put it down, and do it again properly. I nearly bridged it again. Hey Renault Hess, you're up there early for South Africa? How you guys going over there? Whereabouts in South Africa are you? You're in Gauteng, Cape, Nullspruit, Durban. Yeah, bald Boston Paul S. Military guy that will take you out without you knowing. Alright. Let's see if we can reball that chip again. This is a different one, obviously. But we'll be doing the same process. Hey Pedro, why aren't you at work? I didn't know it was lazy Australian day. Or what is this, lunchtime? How nice to have lunch. In Cape Town, weather was lovely this weekend, but today is looking bleak again. Well, how's the water situation in Cape Town? I mean, a couple of years ago you guys were on the verge of basically drying up completely. And I suppose you got a choice between dying of dehydration, lack of water, or dying from lack of electricity. You guys can't win. Just cleaning up the stencil. Tanner, I work from a home office. I try to avoid direct customer contact as much as possible. It's like Moss of IT Crowd says, an unanswered door is a happy door. Because if someone comes knocking on your door, they don't bring gifts. And if you think they brought gifts, it's probably dog poo and knives. Yeah. Ronaldo, I keep track of South Africa a fair bit because I was there for a while myself, and I've got a lot of friends there, and so they obviously get affected by a lot of the issues. I was up in Pretoria, and then Johannesburg, and then Centurion. This is going to be a suckface reball, I think. I have no idea if that one went alright or not. But thanks, John. Take care. I think there's going to be too many unevens on this one. There's no love in it. Oh man, no, this is a complete write-off, that one. not exactly sure what I did wrong there, but I did everything wrong. The first problem was that I don't think I had the stencil pinned down well enough, and that caused seepage of the paste underneath. And the second problem was that I actually kind of ran the squeegee over twice, which is always a bad thing. I'm just cleaning the stencil again. There's little bits and pieces of solder balls in there, but that's not really a problem in this case. Alright, let's try this again. And hopefully without... what? There's junk on my solder paste? Come on. Unacceptable. Where's workplace health and safety on that? Yeah, I know, I went over about 3 times then. Hey Bryce, I'm having a Monday, as you would be. Yours will be nearly over soon, if it's not already over. No, that sucked too. Bad case of beginner's luck the first time. Oops. You see how up the top here, there's basically no ball at all there. And over here, no, that's a super suckful reball. I can try to put the stencil back over it. Sometimes you get really lucky. Now we're going to end up with supersized balls, and yeah, I don't recommend this technique at all. It's almost guaranteed to end in failure. Tenon, you don't really bother with trying to clamp the stencils down, you just use the old tweezers and that's it. There's really no compelling reason. The ideal thing is to actually though have a... Look, I made my own solder balls for future uses. Well, contrary to my greater fears, this didn't turn out too bad. Need a spatula. I've got a spatula. Sometimes. Yeah, I love when people just tell me the tools I should be using without checking to see whether I have in the past used spatulas or all sorts of other implements. I actually switched over to plastic blades because of the fact that the spatula was more troublesome than the blades. And there we go. That's actually better than expected. But I mean, that's the internet for you. You do anything and there's going to be 100 people who tell you you're doing it wrong, or you should be doing it differently, or whatever. And what you end up doing is, after the first few years of going, oh okay, and trying that and all that, you start to realize that basically everybody's going to have an opinion. Just pick which works for you. Accept that there's going to be mistakes that people are then going to go, well, you should have been using this for, and then ignoring everybody. And then that way you get to become an internet celebrity and you seem like a jerk. Inferior solder, plastic spudger, well, the solder I'll definitely say is inferior. But remember, for those who didn't join earlier, it worked perfectly the first time. So really what you should be griping at is actually the person doing it, which is me. And saying, I'm doing a bad job. You get on YouTube long enough, you inevitably just become the asshole. Because you get used to the fact that no matter what you do, someone's got an armchair opinion. And the sad thing is, there are actually some very, very useful comments over time. And it can be problematic that you miss out on the really good ones. So you do try to take into consideration things, but you also learn to discard a hell of a lot. And clean it. Yes, the stencil was clean first, but I just did a double one because I thought, well, sometimes after you botch up the first one, if you've got short balls, you can drop it down and have another shot at it. And as for the spudge with the solder paste on it, that was used about 5 minutes ago, and the solder is still fresh. So yeah, same location as last time. I think the biggest problem with comments on the internet in general is the lack of understanding of the context in which things were done, or the deliberate ignorance. Ignorance is the wrong word. The deliberate ignoring of the context in order to be able to push forward a point. It's like, I'm going to ignore everything so that I can say what I want to say because I want to say it. So you'll have to forgive me if you actually have a legitimate point and I just disregard it out of hand because I get a million of those. I get so many emails every day, people telling me how I should program, people telling me how I should do repairs and all sorts of stuff, and it's like, well, that's great, but the best way to teach people sometimes is to go out and do it yourself, and then be the light that other people follow. Don't be the light in people's faces, blinding them. And because of all the rage and everything, I'll put this off probably one road too many. But yeah, my philosophy is generally, yeah, be the light that other people follow. And I think that's where Lewis really did well. Yeah, he wasn't out there trying to tell everybody how to do things. He was just saying, well, this is what I'm doing. And I mean, later on he did start to call out people, fair enough. But it was a no pressure situation. It was like, well, this is what I'm doing. What do you think? That cap looks crappy too. And then of course, people will get offended just as much as I guess I do. We all have our egos. Certainly ego is it's a useful thing sometimes, but it can also be a great inhibitor. Like the saying of not being able to take good advice is actually quite painful. Anyway, I'm just ranting because, like I said, the more you put yourself out there, the more you're going to get that sort of useless feedback. And it gets frustrating for the fact that you no longer get the good feedback. You can't filter it. Do not think that I'm preoccupied with Lewis. I spend most of my time trying to stop the damn guy from annoying me. Now I do have a fairly robust interaction with Lewis because of the fact that, well, the software that I produce, and he obviously uses that software, and because he has nearly 1 million people on his YouTube base, it's very useful for me. And so I like to make sure that I am actually producing software that is good for people like him. Wonder if you can sell moths. Wonder if there's strange things you can sell. I'm sure there's plenty of strange things you could sell. Anyway, I gotta find out what that calf was that I just yanked off. 6404. You talk too much about him. Tragedy. Tragia-frickin-D. Yeah, I'm definitely in asshole mode today. I also talk about Jason Vollmer. I also talk about Chris Long. I also talk about Jessa. There's a lot of people I talk about. I also talk about my cats, by the way. If you don't like cats, then you're probably not going to like this channel. Yes, I am expressing a lot of attitude right now. You can sell genuine air guitars. I have actually seen that. I found that quite amazing. Let's see. Oh, this is 25 volts. Damn it. The ones I got are 16 volt. Hey, Justin C. 25 volts. That's going to be fun. I'm probably going to have to pull that from another board. Yep, I'm going to have to pull this from another board. I do not have a 25 volt cap that I need. Let's see, all in. So this is a cap I just yanked off. Technically it's not even an important cap, I could leave that off, but we are let's see, 0.1, 25, 201. So let's see if we can find a board that's got one of those. I mean, every board, probably an iPhone board's going to have one of these. Search, find, wrong search pull. Search, find. Okay. 0.1 microfarad. 25 volt, 201. Someone changed my path. No surprises. There's definitely the other problem can be with doing this search like this is that the character, the full stop can actually be different encoding, and so it doesn't have a match when you search for it. So sometimes you just got to like do 1 microfarad search, and it will look for that. Sometimes you just got to put 0.1. The part search feature is very much dependent on how the PDFs are encoded, so sometimes you win, sometimes you don't. And we're really starting to suck here. Okay. iPhone 6. Yep, pretty much every damn part got selected there. Alright. If that fails, then what we do is we pull up, say, iPhone 6 board. Not available. Oh, alright. Open. Nope. I think we need to go schematics. ASM, you have my software using Flexboard view or Open Board view? It's going to bring up iPhone 6 should do the trick. Okay. 1 microfarad. Ah. Four, 6 for. We're going to have to step through a lot of these. I always wonder if it would have been easy to find 25 volt. Can't find it. I'm going to have to order that part. I'm not going to find it in a hurry, and it's not that critical anyway. I mean, yes, it's important to put it back there for the sake of completion, but in terms of actual affecting things, no, it's not. And if this doesn't work, then I'm gonna rage quit for today. No, that's still rebooting on me. Damn it. No, Still rebooting. Alright, that's it. I have to walk away from this one for a little while. Come back to it maybe later this afternoon. Try my luck again. Like I said, I'm fairly sure there's going to be a part in there somewhere that's just... It's going to be a resistor, perhaps. I doubt it'll be a cap, because if you lose a cap, you get a bit of instability, but you shouldn't actually have this sort of scenario, unless it was a major cap. I would say sooner that it's one of the resistors, and yeah, it's just not bringing across the voltage it needs, or it's not making the connection it needs. And it's in there somewhere, but I can't find it yet. So I'm going to toodle off. It's already 4 o'clock, so definitely time for me to wrap up and go get some other jobs done before other customers squawk, and before I keep raging too much and upsetting all my YouTube viewers. Oh, boo-hoo. Anyway, see, I'm doing it already. Okay, I'm out of here. You take care. I'll see you next time.